I have not recorded myself on film in a very long time. This looks weird. Thank you so much for your patience, everybody. I just want to acknowledge, one, my procrastination, and two, the magic of procrastination, where there's always some reason, place and space taking place within the quantum experience of us all, that for whatever reason, my procrastination is always right on time. And I take responsibility for my procrastination. Had a lot of life things going on, and so I really appreciate everyone's patience as I have gotten this video ready for you all. So what this is going to be is a little quantum practice. This is something you can do for any intention, whether that's within health, wealth, home, love, etc., etc. Like whatever your intention is, this is a practice that's going to help support you in making awareness and congruency of the quantum self within regards to that intention. So what we're going to do first is, one, I need you to have a piece of pen and paper with you. That's very supportive. And so if you need to get pen and paper, please pause this. And if not, let us continue. What we're going to do first is we're going to ground into ourself first, but not just ground into our bodies. I like to ground into my quantum self. And that's actually a practice that I call Congruent Essence. My congruent essence is the congruency of my essence. Body, the mind, the emotion, the soul. And I also say them in that way, the body, the mind, and the emotion, and the soul, because that is the natural ladder of frequency that we are going up. The body is obviously the lowest frequency, and not low in like a bad way. We talk about low frequency as like the bad stuff. It's not always. It's dense. Like this literally needs to be a denser frequency because I'm in form. Then our mind is the second lowest frequency, or actually, well, it'd be the next lowest frequency because it still has form, and it's going to allow us to come into essence with our form. Sorry, I just got a text and I read it and it threw me off for a sec. We go from body, then we go to mind, then our emotions have a higher vibrational frequency. And so we want the awareness of that frequency to go up a ladder, because too, the quantum space is incredibly nonlinear. Life is incredibly nonlinear. Healing is incredibly nonlinear. However, the body is linear. The body wants linearity. That's what it's seeking. It is seeking linearity, and that offers us safety too. And that's what the body's looking for, is safety. Safety is in the linear awareness of the lived experience. And so that's multifaceted within the awareness of, and life's nonlinear. It's never going to be like a hypotenuse, ever. And it is still our responsibility in physical form to say, but I can at least offer it to you sometimes. I can try. I can be aware that that's what you want, body. And so that's why we're also climbing a ladder of frequencies. It's offering our bodies space linearly to go, okay, I get you. I see you. I can get on board with that. I can find congruence in that, which is lovely. That's what we're looking for. We want congruency because that's all the frequencies are in alignment and in acceptance of one another. They're in harmony. They're going to sound real nice. If we're running around with our body's frequency over here and our mind's frequency over here and our soul's frequency is down there and our emotions over here, it's not going to sound pretty. As frequency makes noise, makes sound, we want it to sound harmonious. And so, how would that sound harmonious? If we have our body, our mind, our emotions, and our soul all lined up in a ladder nice and pretty. So that is what congruent essence is. And so what we'll do for that, you get to do it yourself. You can do it throughout the day. I wake up in the morning and I go congruent essence. At this point, I have it like a clap on, clap off, but I still always take a few breaths and anchor into the experience. I also do want to quick talk about anchors, because we're always, again, like, oh, anchor into this. Your body's your anchor. Anchor, 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 anchor. But the anchor just doesn't exist. You have to, as much as we create our quantum reality, the world in which we live, as we begin to anchor into well, this is the reality I desire to live in. Well, this is the anchored, income I desire to have. This is the anchored body of health that I choose to have. We also are in creation of the anchor. And that's our responsibility, accountability, and hopefully with integrity, that we are acknowledging that all of those anchors, while different, are still the body. It still is the physiological makeup, place and space, system and structure that is the body. And that is also why the congruent essence is so important, because we're acknowledging that the body's got a really hard job to do. A really fucking hard job. And we're offering it space for it to be not so hard. Yeah, sure, the body, you can do it all. Go ahead, go for it. It can do everything. It can heal from cancer. It can overcome 3rd-degree burns. It can, have diabetes and then have it not be diabetes, whatever. It can experience and overcome damn near everything, except for death, but it still does. And I don't want to just chalk up my body's lived experience to, oh, you can do it, that's fine, go ahead. That's not very responsible of me. That's not very loving of me. To say, you do it on your own body, but I'm gonna take care of my mind, my neurological programming. I'm gonna take care of my emotions and processing and detoxing all of them. I'm gonna heal a bunch of past lives and soul experiences and have a soul retrieval and have fun on your own body. Sure, I might exercise and eat well enough, but it's more nuanced than that. And when we understand and create awareness for congruent essence and the quantum body, that's when we find those nuanced pieces within the physicality of a quantum experience, of our anchors, of everything that we're trying to align ourselves to and manifest. If the body's not on board, if the mind, the emotion, the soul are not on board in their entirety, in their wholeness, there's going to be gaps. It's going to be difficult for the manifestation that maybe has already landed to be sustainable. For you to have a lot more ease and flow and overall physiological acceptance of what's going on and process of what's going on. I hope that all makes sense. If not, let me know, and I'm more than happy to further explain things. But all that is to say, again, it's all about the body. And if our body and us are not devoting that awareness to the body, we're making it harder for ourselves. And so this practice is to, while it can be somewhat overwhelming, of like, son of a bitch, there's more I gotta be aware of, it's actually gonna make things easier in the long run. It's kind of that little learning curve of like, shoot, I thought I was just a body, or shit, just a mind, emotion, and soul. But no, they're actually all together, interconnected, amazing, fantastical enchantment. Steep learning curve makes things a lot easier. Overwhelm is only that which we have not processed yet. And so it's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to be confused. But just acknowledge that that is only information you have not processed yet. And so, with that in mind, hope you have your pen and paper now. What we're going to do, you don't need your pen and paper yet, but just have it there with you. So, we're going to do a congruent essence activation, we can call it. So, you can be seated, standing, being, however you'd like. I do this at the grocery store. I do it at Walmart when I'm about to have an anxiety attack, because I'm like, oh shit, I'm not in congruent essence, and I'm about to have an anxiety attack. Let's fix that. Let's fix that. And so, right now I'm not even sitting perfectly balanced or cross-legged. I've got one leg bent, one leg out. And so it doesn't matter. What matters is that you know what your body's doing. I acknowledge I'm sitting like this. I acknowledge I talk with my hands a lot. I acknowledge I'm still feeling really weird being on camera right now. That's okay. So, what I'm going to do is just say, and so words are activating. These words are quite particular, and make them your own. This is my invention, your practice. do with it how you will. This is how I've done it. I want you to get creative. If something doesn't quite resonate with you, I want to do it this way instead. Okay? So for today, though, for first learning sake and experience, what I'd like you to do is to just body and say this out loud or whisper it, whatever you like. And as I get into my body, I'm just feeling my body. I feel my chest rise and fall. I feel the temperature of the room. I feel the heaviness of my head. Our heads are really fucking heavy, guys. I'm just letting myself feel my body. I'm acknowledging that my right hand fingers are closed and I'd like them open. I'd like them open, please. So I open them. Now I'm going to begin the Congruent Essence activation. Body to mind. Mind to emotion. Emotion to soul. Soul to body. Body to soul. Seal in my congruent essence. How did that experience for you? You're feeling for a shift. Any shift. I'm not going to get specific because it'll feel differently for each of us. It's up to you to play with that, what that feels like. And it might not feel like anything for a while because maybe you're not used to connecting with your body, your mind, your emotion, and your soul this way. Might feel actually really fucking uncomfortable. You saw me yawning a lot. You'd see me smiling. Those are my shifts. But I've done this a lot and I know what I'm feeling for. Saw my head moving. I wasn't doing that on purpose. This was allowing energy to flow through my body. And just permission to let it experience how it experiences for you. And know that if you do this often and make it a part of your daily life, that it'll get louder. It'll get more obvious. Oh, that feels so good. So good. Feels really good to be in congruency. All right. Nope, nothing more on that. Okay. Quick practice. Because I did say that I was going to share with you a practice on kind of congruent quantum stuff and whatnot. So, what I want you to do with your pen and paper is set an intention. I want $10,000 months. I want a new car within the next 6 months. I want to feel good in my body. Whatever your intention is, make an intention and write it on the left side of the piece of paper. Maybe I should be doing this with you. Yeah, whatever. No, I should. Hold on. Okay, so My intention is going to be $10,000 months. And it could just be, like, it can be as specific or non-specific as you want, depending on your human design, if that's your thing. So, intention is 10. Oh, of course this pen isn't working. That's ridiculous. Okay, 10K months. Right there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is on the right side of the paper, I'm going to kind of break it up into 4 pieces. I'm going to write body, mind, emotion, and soul. And I know some of you will be like, it has to be pretty. It doesn't have to be pretty. Okay, that's what it looks like, ish, somewhat. Okay. What I want you to do is to spend time working within those 4 layers of your quantum self where you don't agree that that's possible. Where your intention goes, yeah, red flag, fuck no, 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 don't think so. Spend some time in your body. Body. Ooh. I'm already feeling a lack of safety there. Body, $10,000 a month, is that possible? Where do we not agree? Okay. So, left neck. Left neck, like shoulder crux. Okay. I got like my heart fluttered and I kind of took a sharp inhale of breath. So heart, flutter, sharp inhale. Is there anywhere else in my body that does not feel $10,000 a month is possible? Super good. My root chakra is like, I think maybe we've done some work and we might want to look at it a little bit more. And I just kind of feel my tailbone, like those muscles under there going beep, 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 like super quiet. So I'm gonna write it. Root chakra / tailbone. Okay, but I didn't take up the whole space. There's still room. Again, it doesn't have to be pretty. Now I'm gonna go into my mind. All right, same thing. Where in my mind am I going, ha! Funny. That's not happening. Mind, we believe $10,000 months is possible. Big part of her does. She's like, heck yeah, we can do that. But though, I feel some like, do we have time for that? Are you sure we can make that happen? We're kind of busy already, not making $10,000 a month. And so I'm just going to write like thought that time. I'm too busy. Is there anything else? That kind of feels like it, which is really delightful because a few months ago it would have been like, whole page of no, thank you. So that's the biggest one that comes up in my mind. Now I'm going to go to emotions. This one's always fun. All right, emotions. What emotions do I feel when I think of $10,000 months? Where's the obstruction? Feels really hard. And so that's like exasperated. I feel exasperated at the idea of making $10,000 a month. I feel fatigued. It feels really tiring to have to do $10,000 months. I feel frustrated because I am not there yet. Woo! And that brings up like anger and the grief and the feelings of failure. So I can write all those down. And even the fact that I'm kind of crying, tearing up a little bit, having a detox response to that means, guess what? The body's already making the room. Is going, yeah, let's get it gone then. Tears are detoxifying. So I'm going to write down the frustration, grief, failure, and anger. And as I'm feeling these, I'm feeling it in my solar plexus chakra. So I'm actually going to go back up into the body and write solar plexus. And you can do that too if you're, especially when you get to the emotion piece, your body might start activating and lighting things up. And so just go back and write down where you're feeling these things. And I'm actually just going to, like, I feel it on the front of my body. Like we have a front, we have a back, we have lateral sides of ourselves. We have medial and, whatever the sides of ourselves, lateral, medial. Sides of ourselves. So the front of my body feels very activated at these emotions. So I'm just going to, I'm going to go back up to the body and I'm going to write front of body. Okay. Whoo! All right. Emotions, is that it? Of course she's there. I feel some resentment. Resentment for myself and my audience for not getting me there yet. We get to feel these things, guys. Oh, and annoyance. I'm annoyed I'm not there yet. All right, this is what we look like so far. Body, mind, emotions. Okay. Then we get into soul. Soul's a little trickier. Maybe not. That is not a fixed statement by any means. But if this is new to you, you might be like, how am I going to feel into my soul? That sounds weird. That's okay. It gets to be weird. It's supposed to be. Anywho, our soul. Actually, it's like kind of crumpled up. But you know why? Because I personally, in this intention, this is a half truth. Feel very supported by my soul. So she can hold me up and I can relax in this, I can crumple up in this state. And though, my soul is also like, bitch, we're still here. I don't care. Some of our souls have a very different conscious awareness of the lived physical experience. And that's something that I personally have struggled with, is getting my soul on board that we're here and we have to do these human things, like make $10,000 months minimum. Anywho, so I can write that down. That's what I'm gonna write down. And so for you, whatever your intention is, take a moment and just, maybe it's a moment, maybe it's like a don't overthink it moment, maybe it's a do overthink it moment. Oh, it's really stretching. And ask yourself, soul, how do we feel about this? This intention doable, feasible, plausible, possible? And what does she do? Or he do? Or they do? Them do? All inclusive. So I'm going to write that down. Like when I said soul, just like, because I'm already in that intention here, I went, so she's both. There's a twofold in that. And it gets to be the twofold. So I'm going to say 1, supported by soul. And 2, soul's like, girl, we're still here. Soul's annoyed. Soul's frustrated. / doesn't care. She does and she doesn't. We have a very funny relationship. Okay. Fun part. Take all your time you need. I'm going to keep going, but if you need to pause this, feel free. And so, now what we do once we have all of like the ick stuff, the things we don't want, we're going to go back into our congruent essence activation. But now the intention is different. So whereas before it just was getting our body into alignment, now we're going to get specific about the alignment. So we have our data collection. We've collected data about why we're not in congruent essence about our intention. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go body. And I'm feeling all those things. It doesn't feel good, and that's okay. It doesn't have to. I don't like how this feels right now, but that's okay. It doesn't have to. But I need to sit with it because I get to feel these things because I'm fucking human. And not for everybody just making $10,000 a month feel comfortable. It's not supposed to right off the bat. The first time you've done it, you've never done it before. I have to feel comfortable doing it. Woo! I had a shift. Cool. Now I'm going to go body to mind. My body's like, oh, time. That sounds really hard. I'm already starting to tear up a little bit. And I just sit until I feel the things. I feel the discomfort, the anguish, the frustration, the annoyance, that weird feeling in my left neck shoulder cracks the front of my body, my root chakra, my solar plexus. I'm feeling all of these things that I wrote down. I'm feeling them because they're activated within me, because I need to feel them in order to let them go. Because guess what? That harmony of that ladder of self isn't going to sound pretty. And so if it doesn't sound pretty, this intention isn't going to happen. So I have to feel these things, the body and the mind, and the rest of them, we're getting there, in order for them to shift frequency, so then it starts to sound pretty. That body to mind, $10,000 months, start to sound pretty, whereas right now it might sound like something really bad. I don't know. What does yours sound like? So body to mind. And in the back of my mind, though, I'm thanking my body for this. I'm observing how good of a fucking job it's doing. It's a magnificent creature. Always have like gratitude be the observation. We'll talk about that next time. The whole gratitude piece. You might have other feelings come up, and you're safe. You're safe. Ooh, had my shift. Ooh, had my shift. So I'm going to go mind to emotion. Whew. Letting myself cry. Letting myself feel these things. If tears come up, please let them come. If you burp, if you yawn, if you fart, please let it come. If you start sweating, let it come. Your body is detoxing. Oh, body, you are so amazing. Thank you. I got my shift. Emotion to soul. We're not done yet. Take all the time you need with this, student. Like, do this at your pace. Wait for your shift. And if you don't know when your shift is, you're like, I don't know what's happening, then you can continue on. Remember, this is the first time you're doing it. I've been doing this for a long time. So my body also like has knowledge and intelligence of how to do this. It's an exercise we've done a lot. If this is your first time doing an exercise, it might not be easy. You might be confused and overwhelmed, and that's okay. Ow. Ears. Got my shift. Soul to body. You have to zip yourself up, by the way. That's why we don't just go up the ladder. We have to zip ourselves back up. Soul to body. We love healing. Woo. up my shift. Remember, your shift may not be what mine is. Body to soul. Whew. You might feel the need to hum, to sing, to laugh, to like yell, scream. Do what's being asked of you. If it feels weird, you're doing it right. If it doesn't feel weird too. But like I always say, it's okay to feel weird doing these things. This is what my body's asking me to do. I'm not going to deny my body anything. This is about doing the opposite of denying our body. We're letting it be and do and become and have everything. And we might have to be weird about it in the process. Sealing in my Congruent Essence and $10,000 months. Woo-hoo! Thanks for sitting with me for that. Take your time doing this. And you might, again, I'm going to come back to this. I'm not just going to do it once. I might do it for like 3 days in a row and then take a couple days off. You know, do what feels right for you, but you're starting to create that connection and listening and responding to your body. When your body goes, yo, Congruent Essence time, you're like, okay. And then you do it. Because it's a practice, it's an exercise. I have a long sleeve shirt on, but I didn't end up with these guns in one day. I had to work for it. I got really nice arms. Okay? That's all we're doing for now. Letting the body feel. We're detoxing everything that's not us anymore, that's holding us back from where we want to go. And you have to detox first before you start aligning to what you want. If you start trying to align to what you want before you detox, it's going to sound really bad because that congruent essence isn't there. Your body is stuck with all this clogged shit in it. Be it, mind, beliefs, be it anger in your liver, resentment in your heart. May it be, your soul has a past life or something that's, holding you back. All of that is going to be an obstruction to that alignment of the manifestation that you're calling in. And so you detox it all first. That's what we just did. We just did a quantum detox. So cool. Hope you had as much fun as I did. And then, if you're a journaler, journal. If you're a mover, move, dance. Go dance and jump around and do some party movement tricks when you're done. Go for a walk. Go sit outside. Tell a tree you love it. And that's just one last thing, because I said it came up. We observed in the back of our mind the whole time our body was processing how grateful we were. You really don't have to be grateful for the shit you've been through. And I might be a little, oh no, for saying that. You don't. You're grateful because your body got you through it. You're grateful because you're still here. That's what takes us out of victimhood. If we're sitting there trying to go, I'm grateful for all the traumas I've experienced in life, that's just feeding your victim and your ego. But if we go, son of a fucking bitch, I am so grateful that my body was capable of getting me through that experience. Even if I disassociated and compartmentalized and crystallized all that shit up. I didn't, do it fluidly perhaps. And now we get to go back and undo it all. That's what we're grateful for. When you're doing this, the audience in the back of your mind, if you will, is gratitude. That you were able to feel all these things, and then you were able to let them go. That's what we're grateful for. That puts us in an empowered and enriched state of mind, of being, of essence, and not a victim one. This has been a lot longer video than I thought it was going to be, but I hope it's helpful. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please get a hold of me and let me know how I can be of support.